Hello and welcome to a brand new GM mode NHL 15 series. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to play the worst teams. We're going to call this series Jeers to Cheers. We're going to take every single team eventually over the course of time, and we're going to take them and make them into Stanley Cup champions. Hopefully it takes one season, but we're going to do this. We're going to record and we're going to adjust and make changes and trades and do everything that we need to do so that we become Stanley Cup champions. So I'm just going to name it YT Sabres. So remember, that's my YouTube one. Got a couple other ones going on. And what we're going to do is we are going to start with the Buffalo Sabres. There isn't necessarily overall in this game, so I can't really go by lowest overall. So what I did is I went to NHL.com and I went to the worst record of the last season. So although the rosters are updated in terms of now, but that's, I guess, a minor thing. I just want it to be as up to date as possible so that when you guys watch this, you have an idea as to what changes to make and who's on what team. So that's just kind of going to be the only thing. But other than that, we're just going to go through and make this an experience to freaking never forget and have a blast with. There's really nobody good here, so I'm just going to update that to there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to update, and we're just going to go through the preseason, look at the team, see what the preseason looks like, how the team's going to do. So I chose the Buffalo Sabres because they were the worst record in the NHL last season. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the worst because any game that I ever play that's a sports game, I love GM mode, and I love taking the worst teams and making them the best teams. So that's kind of my reasoning behind this series, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. The team's doing great in the preseason, which is quite shocking. Alright, so 4-3 is decent. It's average. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the roster. We're going to look at where we are, what we need to do, and what's going to happen is I'm going to make a poll in the comments below that has a list of all the rest of the teams. You guys are going to then have a chance to vote at the end of every video. I'm going to leave it in the description, and it's going to just be there. And you guys can vote for who you think the next team should be. I'm going to kind of overlap them a little bit, and I'm still going to do my Minnesota Wild one. So I'm going to eliminate the Wild from that list so I can not have doubling on them. So let's look at the team and let's look at who we need. So we've got Coletta. We have McCormick. Quentin McCormick, I think, is a good fourth line center. His faceoffs is, let's see, where am I looking at? 77, that's not bad. We could get a better defensive rating, I think, especially with Brian Flynn. I think we need to find a better fourth line left wing, especially considering Brian Flynn, is a left wing. One thing I'm going to do right now before I forget, though, back up, turn off injuries. I hate injuries in GM mode. They kind of, I don't want to say ruin it, I just don't really like them in GM mode, so I'm going to turn them off. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. But I just think that it gives it, I don't have to worry about adjusting the lines every 2 days because somebody hurt themselves or whatever. So that's the reason behind that. So let's go back into editing the lines and let's just kind of see what we're looking at. So we've got Molson, Ennis, Stafford. I like that first line. Gianta, Hodgson, Stewart. I like that second line. Now the third and fourth lines I think we can improve. We have Marcus Foligno, who's actually a very solid player and has a great potential. So I think he's going to eventually take that second line role in a couple years, hopefully. We have this guy who's, I'm not going to even bother trying to pronounce that last name. Also, very good in terms of stars in ratings, so maybe our third line isn't really that bad. I mean, 3.5 defense is really kind of what I'm looking for, so I don't really think that many changes need to be made on the third line. It's just the fourth line with especially Brian Flynn there. 2.5 stars from McCormick isn't the best, especially, I mean, he's 5-star physical, which I don't really want to have two guys there, so maybe we can keep McCormick but ditch Coletta. Maybe we can keep Coletta but ditch McCormick. I mean, you know, Coletta, I guess, has a bad rap. I guess we'll see whose trade value is higher, and we'll kind of look at that in terms of there. So we have Georges and Myers, who Georges is a solid first-line defenseman. Myers is a solid defenseman. Mazaros and Pyzik, and then Benoit and Weber. So I guess let's see what we're looking at in terms of changing here. 4-star defense. Not really physical, just your average third-line defenseman there. Pyzik, same type of thing, just your average great skating second-line defenseman. Two-way defenseman, that's always going to be good. And Mazaros is looking pretty good too. I know we have a lot of prospects in the works because Buffalo's been a bad team for a while. Sorry to all you Sabres fans out there. And then we've got Newverth and Enroth. So goalie situation isn't too bad. I think that the goalie situation is not what we need to be looking at. Although Enroth is kind of probably going to be going on a downward slide, I think that the goaltending is going to be okay. Although I know that Kemper gets good from Ottawa, or not. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. Kemper, I think, is actually in Minnesota. I'm thinking of the other guy that I can't think of his name right now. Ha! So, let's just kind of look at our trade value here and see where we're looking at. Let's first off see if we can find maybe a good free agent. Let's look at our free agents and see who maybe we can pick up. I like Dustin Penner. Actually is a pickup. Third line left winger. I don't really want to bump anybody out of their left wing role, so I don't know about that. I will let you guys determine that. If he gets picked up, we can always trade for him. That won't be too bad. Loktionov, maybe he's a depth forward. Maybe he would be a better guy to replace McCormick. He's got better skating, shooting, and defense ratings. He's a depth forward, so we could probably put him in the back. Maybe Saku Koivu, since he's got a better defense rating. He's a good skater. It'd be weird to see him on the fourth line, but it's a possibility. Scott Gomez, maybe he's a good fourth line guy. He's got really good faceoffs, although not the greatest other defensive skills. Faceoffs 80, faceoff 70. So maybe Koivu would be a better choice. Hanzus, even better in the faceoffs, 3.5-star defensive rating, better skating. Maybe Hanzus is the guy. I'm thinking maybe so. Filet Ligno, maybe could take Brian Flynn's place, depth forward, fourth line Drew Steckel. Let's look at him, or David Steckel. 90 faceoffs, 3.5 stars defense. I think he's going to be the guy. He's a grinder, which is confusing to me, but I'm going to take that. I think I'm going to sign him straight away, Drew Steckel, as well as let's just kind of see what other left wings we have. So let's put in an offer for Steckel, and then just give him a little bit more than he asks for. And then let's look at our left wingers and see if we have any fourth line guys. Paul Bissonnette, possibly. Brad Winchester, possibly. He's really not. He's more of a minor league guy though. Defense is 3.5 there, so that's definitely a huge upgrade. I don't want that fourth line to be giving up a lot of goals. He's an enforcer, which is, I guess, something to be looking at. We could have a line there, the fourth line that's not going to take any crap from anybody. Ligno's also a possibility. He's a two-way forward, so I guess that's something to think about. I still want to pick up Dustin Penner. I just don't know where I would fit him. I don't want to ruin his fourth line status there, so I don't really want to work on that. Chris Barch, physical enforcer. I'm going to put in an offer for, I guess Winchester might not be a bad idea. He's just an average player. He's not that good physically, though. I've seen him play in Milwaukee, and he's in, I believe, I don't know if he's still in Rockford or not. But I think Bissonnette's going to be our way to go. So I'm just going to put in an offer for these two guys. If they sign, they sign. If my roster's full, my roster's full. I could maybe trade off a couple guys and get some draft picks, but that's just going to be what we're going to start with. If I need to make more choices or different choices, I'll let you guys choose. So we've got Sam Reinhart that's going to be coming up very soon. No defense, no physical, but that's okay because his offensive skills are so far beyond everything else that he'll get better over time, so I'm not too concerned about that. So let's see what we're looking at here. Some pretty good guys in terms of trade value in the minors, that if we need some trade, something to back the trades we have that. Let's look at, so the guys that we were looking to trade were Coletta and McCormick. So maybe we can get McCormick and Coletta out of there. If we're gonna sign two guys, Coletta I should have also looked for right wings maybe, but I will let you guys kind of choose where we can go from here and what kind of things you think we can go for, what kind of a season. Obviously we're going for the Stanley Cup every season, but realistically, series goal aside, what kind of adjustments do you think need to be made? What players do you think we need to add? Obviously I want to keep the lines pretty strong, and I think those two additions that I signed from the free agent market, or am attempting to sign from the free agent market will be good additions. I just need to have that go through. So I guess, is there a way to determine, let's just kind of look at the block and see what we're looking at. I don't know how to determine how full my roster is. Maybe there's an option. Sorry for this. I don't really know if there's an option or not to see where / how many players are on my team. So let's just kind of look. Team reports, strategy. Let's just, I don't know, view the lines. I don't know how much that's going to do. So we're full on the team, but maybe we can fit them into the minors, hopefully. It's 18 dressed. Obviously, you have to dress the full amount of people. Rochester Americans. I'm kind of, oh, I'll bet you, yeah, okay. We're good. Let's look at, see where Reinhardt is. I don't think he's in the NHL team, but he's definitely not playing in the minors right now, so I don't know. Is he going to be in the NHL then? Yeah, he is in the NHL. Wow, that's kind of surprising me. I almost want to get him time. I almost want to send him down to give him time to grow, because he's not really going to play with the, I don't want to put him on the fourth line with a bunch of enforcers. That's not his game. So I guess I'll let you guys decide. I'm going to leave it there. I'll let you guys decide what kind of moves need to be done, what team I should play next. Also, anything else, any suggestions you get a shout out for personally from me. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to have a good year. I think those 2 additions to the fourth line will help a lot and go a long way. And I don't necessarily have any guys that are listed as a first line role, so maybe we can trade a second line guy like Molson, as much as he's kind of the backbone of the team, or maybe Hodgson or somebody like that, for a guy that's going to be a first line role guy specifically, so that we can start to get things going. And Stewart, I believe, was on the left side in the third line. Let's look at that quick. Maybe he was in the second line. He's the third line scorer, which Dustin Penner was as well, so maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to get Dustin Penner still. But like I said, I'm going to let you guys pick and choose what we do. Yeah, Stewart is not a right wing, or he is a right wing, so he's not a left wing, and he's on the second line as a third line scorer who should be technically in the place of Mitchell here. So maybe we do pick up Dustin Penner and we move some things around. I will let you guys decide. Let me know. Vote for the next team. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.